Hello again. So you're thinking about mediation. I'm John Hind, a mediator, a coach, trainer, director of Compass Resolution and founder of the Family Mediation Team UK. In a previous video, I talked to you about some of the emotions you may be feeling as you journey through separation, helping you understand, I hope, why you may be feeling this way and, most importantly, how to manage these feelings. To be frank, many of these emotions get in the way of us making the right decision about how to separate, whether to mediate or not, and how to communicate with our former partners following separation. In this video, I want to share with you 7 thinking strategies that are absolutely key, I believe, to making the right decision when you separate. Now, 4 years in the armed forces in the mid-80s, much of which was spent in war-torn areas, over 20 years as a lawyer in court and 15 years as a mediator has vividly shown me how conflict can just take over our lives if we let it and destroy very important relationships. So, what can we do about this? Many of us need to change how we think about separation and divorce, how we solve problems and resolve conflict arising from our separation, and, in particular, how we think about and use mediation as a positive opportunity to help ourselves. I'm a mediator, and I happen to believe that mediation is the most effective way of helping people to manage conflict whilst reaching their own agreements. In a subsequent video, I talk in much more detail about mediation, but for the moment, I simply invite you to think about mediation as a positive opportunity so that you feel motivated to find out more. In this video, I'm going to help you, if help is needed, to shift any negative beliefs and expectations about mediation, about your former partner, and about your own abilities in a more positive and more receptive direction. So let me break down my approach into 7 parts. The first part: what outcomes do you want? Focus on what it is that's important to you and your family during and after separation. It's often easier to know what you don't want than what you do want. So let's reframe these into positives. Is it important for you to avoid court? Is it important to avoid spending a lot on costs? Is it important for your children and you to feel secure? Do you want to reach a fair financial agreement? And is it important to you to separate in a dignified and respectful way? Whatever your reasons, you need to be very clear about them so that you can then go on to consider with the mediator whether mediation is the process to deliver these outcomes. Number 2, avoid a win-lose mindset. Don't see your differences as offering a win-lose outcome. I should perhaps include in this one, beware of feeling the need to punish your former partner for their decisions. Separation is not about winning and losing. It's about each of you sorting out what you and the children need during and following separation. If you both get much of what you want and need, the things most important to each of you, rather than focusing on getting as much as you can to the detriment of your former partner, the chances are that you will be successful in mediation. Number 3, keep an open mind. Keep an open mind and focus on the fact that it may just be possible to sort things out together in mediation. No one knows whether mediation will be successful at this stage. If you're thinking about buying a car, for example, you wouldn't buy it presumably until you've checked out all the specifications, the price, and tried it out, experienced how it feels. People sometimes say to me, I can't talk to him or to her, so how can mediation work? And I want to say to them, how do you know unless you've been in mediation and worked with a mediator? This may sound harsh, but it's logical and it's true. Number 4, be curious. Be curious about mediation, what's involved and how it works, but careful from whom you get your information. Have a look at our videos, research mediation on the website, and speak to a mediator. Going back to the car example, I assume that you would seek the help and advice of a mechanic if you have a problem with your engine, not the hairdresser. Equally, speak to a mediator about mediation. Now, I talk about the first mediation information and assessment meeting in a subsequent video and the positive opportunity this offers to really find out what mediation is all about before trying it out. Number 5, beware of doubt and self-doubt. Beware of your internal voice and niggling doubts about yourself, your former partner, and mediation. Be prepared at this stage to give the benefit of the doubt to the mediation process and, God forbid, your former partner that they will work with you in good faith in mediation. I know that this can be tough. Let's face it, your experience of your former partner's behaviour may not leave you optimistic about how he or she will behave in mediation. Negative patterns of behaviour can run long and deep. Communication and trust may have all but broken down, but the mediator will help you manage all this in mediation. And I talk about this in much more detail in my previous video. Number 6. Take your time, one step at a time. Take your time to explore and think about mediation, one step at a time. Don't rush into a decision. This won't cost you a penny. Information is free, but the wrong decision could cost you a small fortune. So don't be pressurised into making rash decisions, but equally be aware of each other's timeframes and needs. It's a balanced decision. It often makes sense to get into mediation quickly and early so that you can all discuss a reasonable time frame and an action plan to avoid frustrations leading to lawyers and court. This will also give you a good idea about how mediation works. Finally, number 7. Be clear about your other options. Be clear about the options apart from mediation, including how they work, the costs, the timeframes, all of which I cover in subsequent videos. It's that car again. I assume that if you're going to spend your hard-earned cash on a car, you will do your homework and look at other options. And the same goes for mediation. Check out our video comparing mediation with a lawyer-led process, with court, with arbitration, or simply doing as much of the work yourselves alongside mediation. So in summary, here are the 7 points. Focus on what it is that's important for you and your family. Don't see differences as a win-lose situation. Keep an open mind. Be curious. Beware of your internal voices. Take one step at a time. And be clear about the other options. So I hope by now that you may be thinking and feeling differently and more positive about the mediation option and opportunity and the next step. I hope that you'll feel ready to think about mediation as a positive opportunity to manage your own separation and reach your own agreements with as little cost and stress as possible. If nothing else, I hope that I've tempted you to watch my next video all about mediation, which I approach kind of back to front. You'll see what I mean. Thank you very much for watching.